Okay, thank you for joining today's review of our latest feature release for the month of May. Topics that we'll be covering today include of course, the most recent update for May, um, which has the ability to have tactics that include multiple files, some updates to share link tracking available for vendors, some improvements that we've made to the campaign planning tool within the system. And lastly, we'll finish with an update to the test messages. Okay, so let me switch over to our live view. So the first update that I mentioned was the update to have tactics with multiple files. So in the past, talking about files, each tactic would be a separate file. So, for example, if you had, 5 different call scripts, you would have 5 separate tactics for each of those call scripts. So now we've added the ability to create a tactic that has more than one file as a part of that tactic. So in that example I just gave, you could have one file that includes all 5 of those call scripts. Or maybe as a similar example, one file for the call script with 5 different languages. So each language would have its own separate download, but only having to manage those within one file. So when it comes to creating and setting up the file tactics, it starts out the exact same way, using as the previous functionality. So in the program manager, we'll go to tactics and files, and we can create a new file. Start with fresh content. And let's say that this file is structured web. Okay, so this will be our privacy policy. And of course, we can add a description as well if we'd like. Okay. So we'll set our attributes just like we would for any other tactic and save. Which takes us to the page where we can actually upload the files themselves. So this is where you'll first notice the difference, where we have the upload document file option. Instead of the previous choose file, now we have the drag and drop box where you can simply drag files into this area, or simply click to upload them. So for example, I'll select our privacy policy document. You can see a short processing screen, and when that's completed, we have the message at the top and the file listed down below. But of course, we can't have multiple files. So we had the privacy policy. So now let's say I'll add the terms of use as well. Okay. So once those files are uploaded, we can see down below each of those files listed out along with the file size. And we can also add the name of that file. So we're already in the structured web privacy policy document. So let's get rid of structured web at the beginning, make it a little bit easier for people to see. So we have our files here. Of course, we can upload the preview image just as we had done before, so that part is unchanged. We have our image. And then once we have our files, we can click Save to update the file. And then we'll share it to our partners using the standard process. So making it available for the library. What program would you like to add it in? And save. And so now this tactic with multiple files is now available to our partners. So from the partner experience, when they log in, what they'll see is they will go into the library. Okay, so here's the file that I had created. We select the file, we see the preview as normal. And then from the download dropdown, we're able to select any of the individual files that we want to download. So maybe if I'm only interested in the privacy policy, I'll just select that one. Or if I want to download all of the files that are there, then I will simply select the download all option. And you can see that generates a zip file of all of those files included in the tactic. So that's the process for what that would look like with tactics with multiple files. Of course, if this tactic did only have one file, then it would just be the single option, no download all, of course, with just one file included in the tactic. Okay. So that is how users are able to vendors are able to create and how those tactics with multiple files can be utilized. The next update is some added tracking that we've added for share links. So of course, share links, as I'm sure you're aware, are available either in the library based on your filters, or even for an individual tactic, you can share it. You'll grab the share link here. Or even within a campaign, you can also access a share link. So the initial share link, that process is the exact same. But what we've added is the ability for users to add additional tracking variables to these share links. So for example, you'll grab this share link that we have here already. But now you can add additional variables onto those share links. So here are the 5 UTM variables that can be added. So the source, medium, campaign, term, and content. So we've added these variables that you're able to optionally add onto the end of your share links to add additional tracking beyond just bringing the partner into the system. So for example, if you want to track what partners are clicking links directly from your partner portal, if your account uses SSO, you can have those links to track these partners are coming directly from the partner portal versus maybe a separate campaign, an email campaign that you've used to promote a new tactic. There's just a couple examples of why you might want to use some of these tracking variables. So when it comes to actually setting up the tracking, you'll take the share link that you've gotten from our system, and then you can add any combination of these tracking variables. So you can just use one, you can use all 5, or any combination. The order also does not matter. So let's say that I want to say the UTM source. So to add a tracking variable, I need to add a question mark for the first tracking variable. And then I'll replace this enter value with the value that you want to use for your tracking. So this is something that you would need to define internally for your account. On Structured Web End, doesn't really matter what you use there. Of course, keeping in mind a 40-character limit. But this is the value that will show up in the reporting as the partners are following the share links from your cloud security campaign to get into the library for those tactics, or they're following from the source, which is your partner portal. Okay, so let's say source is portal, and then if we want to add any additional tracking beyond the first option that we have here, instead of a question mark, we'll have an ampersand. So the first one has the question mark, and then any and all that you use after have the ampersand. So then we'll just say, so that is our source, and the campaign is cloud data. Okay. And so this here is all you have to do as far as setting up your link. And so this is the link that you would use, adding it onto your web page or into your email to have that added tracking functionality. That will enable you to track, how partners are getting into the system, where they're coming from, and will be added into the reporting available to you in the Program Manager view. Currently, the actual tracking has not yet been added into the reporting. This is something that will be added in the future, but in the meantime, you can begin setting up that tracking using these share links as we show here. Also, we will be sending out an email with the details of the share link as well, so don't feel like you have to screenshot the screen or anything like that. Of course, we will have those details shared out to you shortly. Okay. So the next item is some improvements that have been made into the campaign planning functionality within the tool. So if we go into a partner account on the Plans tab, we can create a plan here. Let's go into a plan. And then within the plan, we have the campaign. Of course, this is all the same as the initial process. So as you add marketing activities into your plan, we've added some functionality to kind of make it a little bit easier for you without having to go back and forth between the tactic and the plan themselves. So you can see here, now that we have these, these emails, for example, within this plan that's been added, we're able to update the number of estimated leads and the cost of those, the cost of the campaign. So this can be done directly from the plan itself. And also, once you have a mailing list added to your campaign, you can even schedule it directly from the plan here as well. So you would simply click on the schedule, update the date and time you want that email to go out, and then, of course, save your change. Okay. So now you can see that that email is active and will be scheduled to go out on the date that you selected. Okay. And the last update that we have for today's call is related to the, also related to emails actually, with the test message tab. So the update that we've made is we go into the test message tab. You can see now that the test message tab is only going to show partner level users here in the test message view. Previously, we were showing program level, vendor level users that had access to the partner content as well. But what we found is that that caused a fair amount of confusion for partners, wondering who these different people were. So we've simplified and removed those contacts from the test message. So you'll only see by default the partner users. But of course, if you're a program user on a partner account, you can still always enter your email address in the text box to the right to still be able to send yourself a test message. Okay, so that is everything for our May 2018 release. Of course, thank you everyone for joining today. And of course, do feel free to contact us if you do have any questions. You can contact us by email or by phone using one of the numbers listed, as well as in the using the Need Help tool, contact our support using the live chat or accessing our support site. Thank you everyone for your time, and have a great day.